Good morning. It's great to be in the house of God this morning. Be seated for a moment. I'm going to have you pray in just a couple minutes, but want to ask y'all, did y'all notice the fire trucks and the ambulance out front? Okay, so y'all didn't. Okay. If you didn't come in that way, you probably wouldn't have noticed it. Several weeks ago, our church hosted and funeralized a family of 4 who were killed in a house fire. A father and 3 children, 3 young girls. The day after the tragedy, the chief of the fire department called me because of their passion and desire to get information out to the community about preparing yourselves in the event there's a fire that breaks out in your home. And I invited him to come out this morning, and he came out at the 8 o'clock service, and he's actually here at the 10 o'clock, but he's talking to the kids with members of the fire department. And I want to play back what he said to the 8 o'clock crowd. So I want y'all to watch this real quick. Amen? Can y'all do that? Amen.
You know, when Pastor Jenkins invited me to speak, he asked me to keep my comments to 2 minutes. I told him that asking a fire chief to keep comments to 2 minutes was asking a preacher to keep his sermon to 30. So I'll do what I can. In all seriousness, 4 short weeks ago, our community was challenged like few other in our history have challenged us. On February 20th at 4 o'clock in the morning, a tragic house fire on Leslie Avenue, where the Price family lived in Glenarden, struck. But before I share that incident with you, I want to take you back 23 hours. At 5 a.m. on February 19th, on that morning, a fire engulfed a home in Bowie, collapsed that home into the basement. The lone occupant of that home was awakened by their smoke alarm. He was able to get out just in time. Fast forward 23 hours to 4 a.m. on the 20th. The house fire in Glenarden, despite the father's multiple attempts and firefighters' best efforts and heroic efforts, 4 of the 6 members of that home perished in the fire, including the 3 precious young children and their father. The only difference between the 2 fires is that we found no smoke alarm on Leslie Avenue. I don't know whether the presence of a working smoke alarm would have saved those lives, but I do know that it was a chance they did not have. The lone surviving child, 8-year-old Tamia Price, told us that she remembered the escape planning that firefighters and teachers taught her in school, and that's how she got herself and her mother out of the house. The 2 lessons are critical for us all to heed, and that is escape planning that includes 2 ways out, a meeting place outside. As adults, we have to plan and take responsibility to ensure that each child is accounted for. As far as smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors, if you have one, they are available. If you don't have one, they are available in most stores. If you know any Prince George's County resident that can't afford one or just needs the help, the Fire and EMS Department will provide one to them free of charge. All they need to do is call 301-864-7233. That's 301-864-SAFE. Get put on a list. Within 2 weeks, we'll come put it up. But as part of our Neighbors Helping Neighbors program, I ask you to remember that the Fire and EMS Department cannot do this alone. I ask you to recognize that and to go home today to make sure that your house is protected and that you have a good escape plan. And then when you're done with your house, go to your neighbor's house and make sure they have the same. And when you're done there, go down the street and find someone that is less able to help themselves and help them. Together, we will make a difference. And I have a short poem I want to read to you that since this incident, many people have asked me, why do you do what you do? Why do you choose this calling? So I've drafted this letter and I'm going to title it Paid or Volunteer. It's what we do. I wish you really knew. I wish for just once you could experience the acrid smell of burning insulation, the foul taste of soot-filled mucus, the eeriness of being unable to see your hand in front of your face, or a host of other panic-inducing sensations my brethren and I have had to learn to instinctively overcome and control as we blindly search a smoke-filled bedroom for a trapped child at 3 a.m, our palms and knees burning as we crawl, the floor sagging under our weight as the kitchen is on fire beneath us, with only eerie silence filling the void that we so desperately wish could have been filled with the sound of a smoke alarm. It's what we do. I wish you could just once have to cope with the wife's horror at 6 a.m. as I check her husband of 40 years for a pulse and find none. My crew starts CPR right away, wishing we could bring him back, but knowing intuitively it is probably too late. Yet doing all we can because his wife and family deserve to know everything possible is being done to try and save his life. It's what we do. I wish you could stand beside me just one time in the emergency room as a doctor pronounces the infant my crew has been pouring 110% of their skills into saving for the past 30 minutes, a child who we know will never say the words, "I love you, Mommy," again. I wish you could read my thoughts as we extricate an intoxicated teenager from the remains of her automobile, wondering, where are her parents? Wondering what will her family's reaction be when they answer the doorbell an hour from now to find a police officer. It's what we do. I wish you could comprehend what it feels like to have a child tugging at your arm and asking, "Is Mommy going to be okay?" Not being able to look in her eyes, not knowing how to answer the plea. I wish just one time in your life you had to comfort a lifelong friend who just saw his buddy having CPR performed on him as the medic unit pulls away. It's what we do. I wish for just one moment you could feel the frustration I experience sitting in the seat, my driver slamming hard on the brake pedal, my arm tugging at the air horn as someone fails to yield the right-of-way, knowing full well that should they ever need us, the first words out of their mouth will likely be, "What took you so long?" I wish just one time you could know how it feels to walk in the house and greet my family, not looking forward to explaining that I almost didn't make it back from the last call. It's what we do. I wish you could experience just a tiny portion of the physical, emotional, and mental pain this body has had to overcome, or the skipped meals, the lost sleep, the missed social engagements, or just a fraction of the horrible and needless tragedy these eyes have seen. It's what we do. Hearing all of this, I know you're probably wondering if I'm crazy for choosing this as my life's calling. However, for just one moment, I wish you could experience the camaraderie of my station, the brotherhood of my crew, the emotional reward from saving a life, or the personal satisfaction we gain from preserving someone's property, and the unbelievable rush of bringing calm to chaos. Unfortunately, unless you've lived the life we live every day, you will never completely understand or appreciate who we are, or that, indeed, paid or volunteer, by the grace of God, it's what we do. I wish you really knew. In closing, the Fire and EMS Department is here for you. It's what we do. But we cannot do it alone. We have a table out in the hallway where you can get all the information you need about fire safety. And I want you to please take a few moments today to plan your escape. Account for each family member of your home. Check your smoke alarm and your CO alarm. Then go next door and check your neighbors. Take care of your family and go down the street to the person who's less able to take care of themselves. My staff and I will be going to talk to the children here in a few minutes, and we'll be talking to all the classes about escape planning and fire safety. So as you go home with them today, I ask you to ask them what lessons they learned, not only about God, but about smoke alarms and escape planning, because it's what we do. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.